Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party and a strong contender to become the next British Prime Minister, is under increasing scrutiny as the political landscape heats up. With Labour maintaining a substantial lead in the polls, the party is poised to challenge the Conservative government after 13 years in power. However, despite this advantage, Starmer's leadership is being questioned, particularly regarding his handling of sensitive social issues and his approach to public debates. Recently, Starmer became the focus of intense criticism from Piers Morgan, the outspoken broadcaster known for his direct and uncompromising style. Morgan accused Starmer of avoiding tough questions and failing to take a firm stand on key issues. During a recent episode of his show, Morgan highlighted Starmer's evasiveness on controversial topics such as gender identity and single-sex spaces. These issues have been central to public discourse, and Starmer's reluctance to provide clear answers has fueled skepticism about his ability to lead decisively. One particularly contentious moment occurred when Morgan questioned Starmer's stance on single-sex wards and their availability. Starmer's response, which many viewed as unclear and convoluted, only added to the criticism. Instead of addressing the issue head-on, Starmer appeared to skirt around the subject, emphasizing clarity but failing to provide a definitive position. This approach has left many voters frustrated, with some accusing him of avoiding controversy at the expense of transparency. Adding to the controversy is Starmer's repeated refusal to appear on Morgan's program. While Morgan has hosted numerous high-profile figures, including former U.S. President Donald Trump and the Prime Ministers of Israel and Australia, Starmer's absence has been conspicuous. Morgan has publicly called out the Labour leader for declining invitations, suggesting that his avoidance raises questions about his willingness to face tough interviews and scrutiny. This silence has not gone unnoticed, with critics arguing that it reflects a broader strategy of dodging uncomfortable conversations. The debate over Starmer's leadership extends beyond Morgan's criticism. Influential voices like Elon Musk have joined the discussion, further amplifying the stakes. Musk recently described certain progressive ideologies as a mind virus, warning that they pose a threat to core societal values like meritocracy and free speech. Although Musk's comments were not directly aimed at Starmer, they resonate with concerns about Labour's approach to cultural and social issues. Musk's outspoken criticism of woke culture has sparked a global conversation, adding pressure on political leaders like Starmer to address these matters head-on. Labour's strategy under Starmer has focused heavily on economic issues, healthcare, and the National Health Service, NHS, aiming to address the immediate concerns of voters. However, this approach has drawn criticism for sidelining contentious social debates that many Britons care deeply about. Recent surveys suggest that public interest in issues like gender identity, diversity, and historical accountability remains strong. Labour's perceived silence on these topics risks alienating segments of the electorate, particularly those who feel their concerns are being ignored. The situation is further complicated by the polarized political climate. On one hand, conservative critics accuse Labour of being too progressive, while on the other, progressive activists demand more decisive action on social justice issues. This balancing act has placed Starmer and his party in a precarious position. While some voters appreciate his focus on bread-and-butter issues, others see his reluctance to engage in cultural debates as a sign of weakness or even fear. The stakes are particularly high as the next general election approaches. Labour's lead in the polls, while significant, is not guaranteed to translate into electoral victory. Starmer's ability to address these criticisms and present himself as a decisive leader will be critical in determining his party's success. For many voters, the question remains: can Keir Starmer demonstrate the strength and clarity needed to lead the country, or will his cautious approach backfire, costing Labour its chance to return to power? As debates over leadership, values, and social issues continue to dominate headlines, Starmer's next moves will be closely watched. His ability to strike a balance between addressing pressing societal concerns and maintaining focus on economic priorities could define only his leadership, but also the future of the Labour Party. Whether this strategy will resonate with the electorate or leave Labour vulnerable to further criticism remains to be seen.